Good morning, one and all students. So today's class we'll be knowing how to work upon the Warshall's algorithm or what Warshall's algorithm is dealing with and how to solve a problem using Warshall's algorithm. Okay. So as I stated in the previous class, the Warshall's algorithm is basically used to compute the transitive closure of a directed graph. Fine. Transitive closure, as I told you, transitive closure is nothing but the path matrix of a given graph, right? And path matrix is what? It is again what it is. It's a Boolean matrix which is of size n cross n, where n is your number of nodes in the graph. And as it is a Boolean matrix, it takes only two values, as you can see. It would be either 1 or 0. And you all know that 1 indicates there is a path between the node I to j. Path. Okay, a path is what? It is reaching I to j through intermediate vertices, or reaching I to j with 0 vertices. Intermediate vertices means to say there is a edge from I to j. So I can have either a edge or either a path from I to j, not a problem. So indicating 1 tells that there exists a path, and 0 indicates there is no path. So mathematically, if I have to write the definition of the path matrix, so I can write P of I comma j is equal to taking up the values either 0 or 1. 0 means there is no path from I to j. 1 means there is a path from I to j. Well, understanding. So as I told you, given a graph pictorially, you can easily identify, but I am interested in writing a program. So I should have some means of identifying the path matrix or the transitive closure, right? So we have the Warshall's algorithm in order to help us in getting the path matrix or the transitive closure. How? And you all know that Warshall's algorithm is based on dynamic programming. And we all know that in dynamic programming, the problem is divided into sub-problems. And you also know that the sub-problems are dependent or independent. What are the sub-problems? They are dependent or independent, students? Someone can answer me? Are they independent or dependent?
Dependent.
Dependent. So what do you mean by the dependent? Dependent means they are dependent on the solution of another subproblem. Okay. So in order to have this Warshall's algorithm or to compute the transitive closure, we will divide the problem into several subproblems. And my problem is not dividing the graph here. Kindly note. I will take this matrices, that is my n by n matrices. I will construct a sequence of n by n matrices. These are my subproblems now. The n by n matrices are named as r to the power 0, r to the power 1, r to the power 2, goes on till r to the power n. Are you understanding? And these are the subproblems for me. So just understand these are the subproblems. I'll tell you what are they. Now, in when I divide a problem into subproblems, I should find out the relationship, isn't it? Which problem is dependent on the other problem. So very simple. There's nothing rocket science here. To get R1, I want R0, right? To get R2, I want the solution of R1. Similarly, to get Rn, I should obtain the solution of which subproblem? R to the power? What is the subproblem before to Rn?
R power n minus
N minus 1, right? This is how the relationship that has been maintained, right? So I will find out all the solutions of this subproblem later. After finding out all the solutions, right, using bottom up fashion, as I've told you, you have to get the final solution. So here the final solution is nothing but the last matrix that you obtain in the sequence. So that last matrix which you get, that is R to the power n, is your transitive closure. Are you understanding? Right? So you are dividing the problem into sub-problems like this, R0, R1, R2 to Rn, wherein they are dependent. How they are dependent? To obtain R1, I will use the solution of R0, like that. The final solution is your R to the power n, the last matrix. Okay. Now next question comes, what are these R0, R1, R2 and R to the power n? Right? So what is this? Right? So it is very simple. This I define it something like this, R to the power k I comma j. So try to understand later at some point of time the clarity will be there. Might not be intermediate clarity. Once you know all these things, a clarity you will get at the end. So R to the power k I comma j I define, where k is greater than or equal to 1. Okay, that means R to the power 1 I comma j. What does it mean? What does it mean? It means is equal to 1. The entity in the matrix R to the power 1 for any node I comma j will be equal to 1 if and only if there is a path from I to j. There is a path from I to j, that is definite. But who are all the intermediate vertices? The first k intermediate vertices are allowed. First k. That means to say, if R to the power 1 I comma j is equal to 1 means there is a path from I to j with only one acting as the intermediate vertex. R to the power 2 means, it means that there is a path from I to j with only first k vertices. Means to say 2, means first 2, 1 comma 2. The vertices allowed as intermediate. So this will define, whatever I write in brackets, this will define which are the vertices acting as intermediate. Try to understand, intermediate. So it is not the numbering of the vertices. You can tell the first 2. So first vertex, first 2. Anyways, we will take it in sequence only, not a problem. If it is A, B, C, D, first 2 will be A comma B. Next, first 3 means A, B, C, like that. So wherein these vertices are acting as intermediate. Remember. And what is this R0? R0 is my initial matrix, which is nothing but your adjacency matrix. Remember. Are you understanding? And Rn is your T, that is your transitive closure. Are you understanding? So R to the power k I comma j is 1 if and only if there is a path from I to j with only first k vertices allowed as intermediate. So what is the main idea? It's nothing but a path exists between two vertices I and j if and only if first thing R0. What is R0, students, for me? R0 is my adjacency matrix. That means in adjacency matrix it will be 1 if and only if there is a edge between I comma j. I mean, that is a path, isn't it? So there is a path between I comma j if there is a edge from I to j. Or next R1. Next comes R1. So what does it mean? R1 means there is a path from I to j going through the vertex. Which vertex? R1 means which vertex acts as the intermediate? R1. R1 means which vertex acts as the intermediate? The first vertex. So vertex 1. Next R2 means in R2 I am finding there is a path from I to j going through the vertex 1 and R2 I write. Why? Because it can be 1 and 2 acting as the intermediate or only 2. We cannot predict that, or only 2, right? Next, similarly, there's a path from I to j going through the vertex 1, 2 and or 3, right? So to get this solution, I will use this solution. So this solution already would have told you the path from I to j going to the vertex 1 and 2. Yes, 1, 2 and 3. So all the 3 combinated, right? Similarly, I keep on going till then wherein I get a path from I to j going through any of the other intermediate vertices. So all combinations I will get at the end. Are you understanding? Right? So on every kth iteration, that is your RK, how do you determine, right, the path between I and j with just the vertices, that is 1, k allowed as the intermediate nodes? How do you get this? How do you get the a solution of a subproblem using the solution of the previous subproblem? How do you get that? Very simple. Rk I comma j is equal to, so what do I write? Rk minus 1 I comma j. That means what? What does it mean, students? What does it mean if I write Rk I comma j is equal to Rk minus 1 I comma j? Means to say that path exists between I comma j going through which vertices? Going through the vertices 1 to k minus 1. Already there exists a path. In the previous only, there is a path from I to j. Going through which vertices? 1 to k minus 1 vertices. Or if it is not, if there is no path between I to j directly, between the vertices I to k minus 1, there might be a path between the intermediate vertex called as a k. Yes, that is, you can say Rk minus 1 I comma k and Rk minus 1 k comma j. That means there is a path from I to k, k to j, which indicates what, ma? There is a path from which vertex? I to j. So you can observe now there is a path from I to k and there is a path from k to j. Isn't it? Using the vertices 1 to k minus 1. Using the vertices 1 to k minus 1. It is just similar to telling A equals to B, B equals to C means A is equal to C. So, you have to get the path in the previous matrix, not here, not in the current solving. So, in the previous matrix, you should check, is there already path existing from I to j? If there is path, no problem. Otherwise, you should check whether there is a path from the vertex, the intermediate vertex k. That is, there is a path from I to k, k to j. If there is a path from I to k, k to j means there is a path from I to j. So remember, you have to use or and here. The logical or, the logical and. Are you understanding? Okay. So it's something like this. So how do you write the recurrence relation in order to get the elements Rk, relating elements Rk to elements of Rk minus 1. So because we are getting the elements of Rk using the elements of Rk minus 1. So it is like this. Rk I comma j is equal to Rk minus 1 I comma j. See, if there is already a path, this will be 1. And this is or. So directly the answer will be 1. If this was 0, means there is no path from I to j, then what do I check? I check whether there is a path from I to k, k to j in the Rk minus 1. If there is a path, means both will be having the values 1 and it is. So 1 ANDed with 1 will be equal to 1. Means there is a path from I to j. Are you understanding? So it is the rule that is followed for generating Rk from Rk minus 1. What is the rule? That is, if an element in the row I and column j is 1 in Rk minus 1, it remains 1 only in Rk. Because already there is a path from I to j. So keep it as 1, no problem. But if the element in the row I and j is 0 in Rk minus 1, what does it indicate when it is 0, students? 0 means what here? Students. 0 indicates what here? If row I and column j is 0 in Rk minus 1 means, what does it indicate? What does it indicate? 0. Students. It indicates what? 0 indicates what? Scenario. Is there a path or there is no path? Someone can answer to me?
No path, ma'am.
No path. There is no path in Rk minus 1. But it can be changed to 1 in Rk. I can change it to 1 in Rk provided if and only if the element in its row I and column k is 1 and the element in its column j and k are 1. Yes, column j, row k. That means I to k, there is a path, k to j, there is a path. So if both are ones in Rk minus 1, then I can make in Rk as 1. Otherwise, no. If either of one is 1, I cannot make it as 1. Both should be 1. Hope you are all understanding, students. Very simple, yeah. If I to j is 1 in the previous, current matrix also it will be 1. Means there is a path already existing. But if there is no path, means just check whether there is a path from I to k and what, students? I to k and what should I check? There's a path from I to k and students. Check for the path existing between I to k and students. Answer me. Is there exists a path from I to k and
J to K, ma'am.
k to j? J to k, no, k to j. I to k, then k to j. Then only I can tell there is a path from I to j. And remember, checking the path of I to k and k to j should be done in the previous matrix, that is Rk minus 1. Rk min in the previous. Hope you are all getting. If that is the case, then Rk of I comma j will become 1. Hope you are all getting now. Okay. So we'll solve the problem, then you will more be clear. Okay. The same example which I had told you in the last class. So we'll take the same example and try to solve the same there. Okay. Now just tell me, I have 4 vertices here. So how many matrices should I generate? R0, starting from R0 till where? How many matrices, students? How many matrices should I generate? R0 till Rn. What is this n? N is the number of nodes. So how many matrices will I generate here? In this case, R0,
R0 to R4, ma'am.
R4. Okay. Since I have named the nodes with alphabets, you can also raise to the power alphabets also. You can do it. But preferably we use numbers only. R1, R0, R1, R2, R3, R4. Let's see how to solve this. This is one of the frequently asked problem in your exams. So be careful. Yes. So hope the PDF screen is visible for you all. Is it visible? Yes. Students,
Ma'am.
is it visible? The PDF screen is visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So this is a problem that has been given to you. So you have to now obtain the transitive closure or the path matrix for the above graph by generating a sequence of matrices. And the sequence of matrices is like this: R0, R1, R2, R3, R4. See, if required, you could have also written here as RA, RB, RC, RD. You could have written, but I prefer numbers for any graph. But it is understood. 1 means the first vertex A. 2 means the first two vertices A and B, like that. Okay. So R0, you all know that R0 is my adjacency matrix and R4 is the transitive closure of the graph. Right? So the step 1, first let me generate the adjacency matrix of the graph, that is R0. So I will generate the adjacency matrix. As I've already told you all, take the adjacency matrix of size 4 cross 4, name it with the rows with the vertices A, B, C, D and columns also with A, B, C, D, you can see, and put 1 if there is a edge, put 0 if there is no edge. Done. Okay, so why have I put these boxes? That is for the next step. First, you have to write the adjacency matrix. Next step is step 2. I need to generate the matrix R1. Okay, see, I cannot sit and check out all the possibilities. So what I'll do is I am trying to apply the reverse way of getting the answer. So as I told you, if I have ones in I of k, then k to j, ik and kj, if both are ones, my answer will be 1. That's what I told you. Yes or no? You remember? Rk minus 1, I comma j is 1. Rk minus 1, k comma j is 1. Then Rk, I comma j will be 1. So using that concept in the reversed way, I will generate the matrix R1. So what is this R1? As you all know, R1 matrix is a one that contains all the paths through the vertex, what students? Through the first vertex. So which is my first vertex in my example? Which is my first vertex, students? Vertex? Which is my first vertex here in the graph? Which is the first vertex? Students, the vertex is the A vertex for me, isn't it? So I am now interested in finding the path through the vertex A, only through the vertex A. So I am not bothered about the other vertices. I have to find only the path through the vertex A. So you must consider which row and which column in the above matrix. Since I have to find the path only through the vertex A, which row and which row and column should you consider, students? Only through the vertex A means which row and which column will you consider, students? You have to consider only the 8th row and 8th column in the above matrix R comma 0. You have to consider only the 8th row and 8th column. You can observe I have blocked it. The previous matrix. Using the previous matrix, you are generating R1. See, it is overlapping some problems. Are you understanding? Wherein you should not consider all the entries. You should consider only the pairs with the entries what? 1. With the entries 1. Try to understand. Okay? And we know that the k value here is what for me? The vertex A. K is what for me? The vertex here. This is the K for me. This is vertex, the first vertex, that is A to me. And we also know that I comma K is 1. If and only if I in K is 1 and K comma J is 1, then I comma J is equal to 1. isn't it? Ik and kj. So what is k for me here, students? Forget about I and j. What is k for me? In this matrix R1, what is k? Which vertex is acting as k? Which vertex is acting as k, students?
A,
Answer
ma'am.
me. A. A is acting as the vertex k for me. So I comma a equals to 1 and a comma j equals to 1. So I have to just find out which are all the entries which are 1. Wherein I should consider only which row? 8th row and 8th column. And I should make the combinations. Okay, how do I make that? Just observe. Considering the above matrix R0, we have, what you should do is, first you should consider the entries with only ones. So first you should consider the column, then the row. So you have to, because it is, A is first is, you can observe, A first acts as the column here. Next, A acts as the row. So you should combine them, make all the possibilities. Okay. Just see, observe here now. First, take the column. In the column, you should not consider all the entries. You should consider only which entries? The entries which are 1. You can observe B comma A is 1 combined with the row. In the row also you can find there is only 1. B comma A is 1. Similarly in the row A comma C is 1. So what do I guess? What is my conclusion? B comma A is 1. A comma C is 1. So what should be 1? What should be 1, students? B comma A is 1, A comma C is 1. What is 1 in R1? Now, just combine and just tell me.
C, ma'am.
B comma A is 1, A comma C is 1. So what is 1?
B, C, ma'am.
B comma C is 1. In which matrix? In R1. So you can observe B comma A is 1 and A comma C is 1, which means to say that, remember, first you should consider column, then combine with all the possibilities of rows. Consider only which entries? 1. Okay. Therefore, you can observe that B comma C is 1 in which matrix? R1. Are you understanding? Right? And you can see there is no other possibilities. That was the only possibility. Okay, that's done. Now rewrite R1. While writing R1, keep all the entries of R0 and whatever the updated to be. So you can now see only BC to be updated as 1. So that I will update here. Are you understanding now? Yes. Now, similarly, that is R1. So you can now observe via the first vertex, that is A, there is only path existing, that is B comma C. Now, I have to generate the matrix R2. Again, to generate the matrix R2, it should contain what? All the paths to the vertex B. Only vertex B, because already through A, R1 is there. So I have to consider the path through the vertex B. So since we have to consider the path through the vertex B, which row and which column should I consider, students? In R1. Which row and which column? Speak out. Now you have to answer. Which row and which column? Students.
B row and B column.
B column, you have to just block it. Why you have to block it? So that you don't combine with other things. That's the reason. Just block it. We have to consider bth row and bth column in the matrix R1 and consider the pairs which are in values 1. Okay. And in R2, you can observe what is the K value. What is the K value for me? K equals what in R2?
B,
is what?
ma'am.
B. So we all know that I comma k is 1 and what is 1? If I comma k is 1 and k comma j is 1, then what is 1? I comma j will be 1. Isn't it? Now consider the matrix R1. Tell me what is my first combination? What is my first combination that I consider? First, I should take the entries in the column combined with the entries with the rows. Tell me, what is the first combination?
D, comma B, ma'am.
D comma B equals to 1 and combined with
B, comma A equals
A. So 1. Yes, the first combination we have D comma B equals to 1 and D comma A equals to 1. Right? Therefore, since D comma B equals to 1 and B comma A equals to 1, I conclude that there is a path through which vertex? Vertex B. That is, the path exists between D comma A. So D comma A is 1 in R2. I write. Next, which combination should I take? Which combination? Again, someone can answer me. Which is the next?
Ma'am, D, comma B and B, comma C.
Yes, you should take all the entries, all the combinations. I hope you are all getting it. This to be combinated with this, and this. Right? So you should take care of it. Right? D comma B to be combinated with B comma A, B comma C, B comma D. So any column entry you take, combinate with all the ones in the rows. So you should not miss it. Okay. So you can see that D comma B to be combinated with B comma C. Okay. D comma B equals to 1. B comma C equals to 1 indicates that there is a path from D comma C. Therefore, D comma C equals to 1 in R2. Similarly, you can observe D comma B equals to 1 to be combinated with which vertex? Which pair? Pair B comma D. D comma B combinated with B comma D pair. Right? So where it tells me that yes, there is a path from D comma D. Are you understanding? So write all these updated values in R2, right? And whatever the values of R1 remaining, you have to copy. So I updated D comma A, D comma C, D comma D. So you can see D comma A, D comma B, D comma C, D comma D. Earlier it was 0. So you can observe D comma A, D comma C, D comma D. Earlier it was 0. But later I found that there is a path existing from which vertex? Through the vertex B. I understand. That is your R2. Next, I'll have to generate the matrix R3. So you now know that R3 means I'll have to contain, the matrix R3 contains what? All the paths from the third vertex. So which is the third vertex for me here? It is C. Again, since we are finding the path from the vertex C, which row and which column should I consider? Which row and which column should I consider in R2? Which row and which column, students? Cth row and Cth column to be considered only with the entries 1. And you can see now the K is a Cth vertex, and we also know that I comma j and k comma j equals to 1 means I comma j equals to 1. You could just observe here, what do you find, students, with Cth row and Cth column? Can I combine? What do you observe here, students? What do you observe?
Not combined, ma'am.
The reason because you can see in columns you have 1, but you can see in row all it is 0. So there's no possibility. So you can observe that In the above matrix, that is R2, AC is 1, BC is 1, DC is 1, but the entries in the Cth row are all zeros. That means to say that I am not able to combine. That means to say that there is no path existing through the vertex C. It could be either way around. Might be rows are having 1, columns are 0. Whatever it is. So I'm not able to find the path through the vertex C. That means to say now you should not stop at this point. So what is the answer for R3? What do you think the answer for R3 will be? The answer for R3 will be what? Shall I stop it? So no solution found, or R3 will be same as what now? Students. Since there is no solution, R3 matrix will be same as what? Someone can answer me. Though it is wrong, it's okay. R3 is what? Students.
R2, ma'am.
It is be same as R2. So don't tell no path means no. Already there are some paths. From C it is not there. But from A it is there, from B it is there. So R3 will be same as R2. So let's write the same content. Okay. Next, the last step, generating the matrix R4. So you have to generate R4 matrix. Similarly, you can observe we have to consider dth row, dth column, because I am trying to find out the paths to the through the vertex D now. Okay. Can anybody just observe and tell me how many pairs will I get here? K is D now for me. So how many pairs will I get? What are the first combinated pairs? BD. BD to be combinated with? BD to be combinated with, students? BD to be combinated with what? BD to be combinated with what, students?
DA, ma'am.
DA, then? DA,
DB,
DB, then
DC,
DC, then
maybe DD, ma'am.
DD also, because this is common to both column and the row, right? So you have to have this to be combinated with all 4 ones in the rows. Okay, so you can see BD equals to 1, BD equals to 1, so I have combinated with DA, DB, DC, DD. And executing the same to update in R4. BA is 1, BB is 1, BC is 1, BD is 1. Similarly, next, which is the one in the column. So you can observe this is common to both row and the column. So you should be very careful. Now, what is this value? D, D, isn't it? DD is there to be combinated with? Combinated with? What are the row entries? DD to be combinated with what?
Oh, ma'am. DA, DB, DC, and DD.
Yes, 4. So DD, DD, DD to be combinated with DA, DB, DC and DD. So you might tell me, ma'am, few are already ones, but no problem. If you rewrite, it will not be a problem to you because you have to sit and check, not required. Just rewrite it, it will not take much time for you, right? So you can put these updated values in now R4. You can observe DA, DB, DC, DD. See, already you can see, already this was 1, isn't it? So no problem if you were rewriting once, doesn't make a difference. So you can observe that this forms to be the final R4 matrix which is generated. And you all know that this R4 is my transitive closure or the path matrix. So finally, the path matrix or the transitive closure of the above graph will be T equals to, this is the matrix. Are you understanding? Right? So given a graph, you have got this answer. You can easily check Again, go back and check manually whether your answer is correct. Looking at the graph. Right? So you can check from A, what are all the paths existing? From B, what are all the paths? C, what are all the paths? D, what are all the paths? Do I get the same result here? There only you can check whether your answer is correct or wrong. Hope you are all getting it, students. And one more thing you remember, whichever is the intermediate vertex, that should be same here with respect to column and with respect to row. Here, this is IK, KJ. So K should be same. So do not match which is not like this, IK, KJ. So you have to remember that IK equals to 1, KJ equals to 1. So always start combinating with column followed with the row entries. So you should be very careful when you are taking the combinations. Are you all understanding? Hope you are all getting, students. Yes? Any doubts? Right? Okay, tell me what is the first step? What should you generate? What are the matrices that you have to generate? Students, what are the matrices that you will have to generate? Okay, tell me what are the matrices that you have to generate for this graph?
R0 to R4, ma'am.
R0 to R4. Okay, what is R0?
Adjacency matrix, ma'am.
It's the same as your adjacency matrix. So what is R1? R1 is what? Contains what? Paths through the vertex? Contains path through the vertex?
A, ma'am.
A. So to generate R1, you should use which matrix? Which matrix should you use? You should use which matrix?
R0, ma'am.
You have to use the matrix R0. Yes, you have to use the matrix R0. And in R0, which row and which column should you consider? Which row and which column? Which row and which column should you consider?
8th row and 8th column, ma'am.
8th row and 8th column. So you have to consider 8th row and 8th column. And remember, in R1, your K will be what? K will be your A. Understanding? K will be A. Suppose say, if your graph was having numbers, okay? So say it starts from 0, 1, 2, 3, like that, or 1, 2, 3, 4. So whichever is the first vertex, that will be your R1. I try to understand, students, right? Whichever is the first vertex, it is a 0th vertex. If it's starting from 0, then K is vertex. Which vertex? 0. The labeling I am talking about. If it is starting 1, then K will be 1. Hope you are all understanding, students. Yes, based on the numbering, that is your first vertex. A, so A is my first vertex for me. So what is the transitive rule that you apply for solving? How do you combine? I comma K equals to 1 and what is the rule that you follow for combining? I comma K equals to 1 and K comma J equals to 1 implies that I comma J equals to 1. And that is the updated values in your matrix R1. Are you understanding? Similarly, to generate R2, you have to use R1. And R2 means the second vertex. So in the graph, which is your second vertex? In the graph, which is your second vertex? The bth vertex. That is only your kth vertex. Hope you are all understanding. So in the R1, you should consider which row and which column? Which row and which column? Which row and which column should you consider in R1? Students.
Bth row and bth column,
Bth
ma'am.
row and bth column. Again, combine in the same order. Are you understanding? Remember, the combination should be done with respect to row to column or column to row.
Column to row, ma'am.
Column to row. And you should consider the entries only with what entries will you consider all the entries or only with what values?
Ma'am.
Why should I consider only with one? What is the reason? One indicates what? One indicates what?
A path between the vertices.
Vertices. In one indicates there is a path. So if there is a path from I to K and there is a path from K to J, means to say there is a path from I to J via the kth vertex. That's what I mean to say. If there is a path from I to J, J to K means to say I to K and K to J means there is a path between I to J via the vertex K. And K could be your intermediate vertices. Hope you are all getting, right? So, so we have the algorithm and its analysis. So we will say it in the afternoon class regarding the same. Okay. So you can take these two as the assignments. You can see Warshall's algorithm to the graph. This is one of the question asked in Jan 2018. This is the graph given to you. So you have to generate R0, then you have to generate till R4. Check your answers by yourself. That's not a problem. You can check your own answers, right? And apply and don't give me reasons, ma'am. I will write that path matrix at the end. That is not valid. So you have to give the intermediate steps. Okay. You can cut short whatever I have given the sentences, but properly you will have to construct. Okay. Similarly, we have the Warshall's algorithm here to be generated for the graph whose adjacency matrix is already given to you. It's given to you. Matrix is given to you. So you can label it. Either label the vertices with the numbers or alphabets. Either you can do. But since you have already solved using alphabets, just try to number with the numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. For this example, you should generate how many matrices? R0 till where?
R5, ma'am.
R5. R0, R1, R2, R3, R4, R5. Okay. So most of the time it will be till R4 only, 4 vertices, but sometimes they try to give like this. So not a problem. Okay. Then you might ask me, ma'am, given like this, then how do I check my answer? How do you check your answer? If matrix is given to you, what should you do? How will you check your answer? Students, how will you check the answer? Here you will check, okay, from A to D there is a path. Yes, A to D there is a path. In the matrix, path matrix, A to D is 1, looking at the graph. But how about here? How will you check your answer is correct or wrong given this matrix? Any idea? Can anybody tell me, Janvi?
Ma'am, maybe we'll have to draw a graph.
Yes, maybe no, it is the answer. You have to draw the graph correctly using all the ones, naming it correctly, right? Draw the graph, then check whether the path, whatever you have got, is correct. Okay, hope the problem which we solved is the same answer that we had got earlier, right? See here. Second row and fourth row all 1. The first row, the third element is 1. I think the same answer we had got it here in our example too. Yes, you can see all second and the fourth are 1s, and the first row, the third element is 1. So you can verify it. So not a problem. Hope you have all got it. I'll share this also, the solving and the assignment. Kindly go through it. Both you have to solve. Fine. Is that okay? Any doubts, students? Any doubts? No doubts? You have no doubts then? Okay. Abhishek, M is there. Answer your attendance, Abhishek.
Present, ma'am.
Okay.
Present, ma'am.
Yes. Thank you, students. I'll just stop the recording, then you can answer the attendance.